Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Paul Clark and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be painting this little mountain scene step by step in watercolour. So come and join me. Before we start, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been supporting this channel by liking, subscribing and leaving some lovely comments. I even had someone who suggested I was the new Bob Ross of the internet, which I took as a huge compliment. The man was a legend. In fact, I have managed to find some unseen footage of Bob, and I suppose there is a bit of a resemblance. Have a look. So, we're going to paint in here a happy little tree, and we can put it wherever we want. It's our painting. We just need to remember that we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents. Colours today: my normal three primaries, cobalt blue, alizarin crimson, cadmium yellow, also some cadmium orange, yellow ochre, Payne's grey, sap green, phthalo blue and burnt umber. My paper I'm using today is some Bockingford rough. My brushes, a number 12 round, 3/4 inch flat and a number 3 rigger. To start with, it's important to mention that we're not painting in the Bob Ross style. He used oils and canvas and we're going to be doing a watercolour, but it's inspired by him. Right, start with a simple pencil sketch and then with a flat brush paint in clean water into the sky area, outlining the top of the mountains. My sky colour is a 50-50 mix of cobalt blue and phthalo blue, and I'm painting in a graduated wash. Now, wetting the paper first guarantees you get nice soft blends without any ugly brush strokes. Next, I'm dropping into the wet some Payne's grey for these few wispy clouds. Now, I may find that the trees cover a lot of these, but I'm going to put them in anyway. Okay, so we can leave the sky to dry. And now, wet with cleanish water, the lake. Now, this is mainly phthalo blue with a touch of cobalt blue, and again I'm painting in a darker value towards the bottom. Now I want to put in a little touch of green to reflect the colour from the trees above. Now this green is roughly an equal mix of cadmium yellow and cobalt blue, because I always love to mix my greens, but I've also dropped in a little bit of sap green which just brightens and freshens it up a little bit. Now for the mountains. This is a mix of approximately 60% yellow, 30% alizarin crimson and about 10% cobalt blue. Make sure the wash is good and wet, paint in the shape, and then drop in wet in wet some green to suggest the tree line. Now let's use the mountain colour again for the path, and also with a stronger mix at the bottom and a little touch of Payne's grey for interest. Now for the bank with the same green mix. And then I've darkened my green by adding a little bit of cobalt blue. And here I'm simply adding a little touch of burnt umber. Now for the mountains here in shadow. This is a lovely deep mix of cobalt blue and phthalo blue. And I'm softening the edge with a lighter mix and some clean water. Now for some strong Payne's grey for some really deep shadows. Don't be afraid of really loading up the pigment. For these ripples, I'm just using a translucent mix of cobalt blue and simply making sure they get smaller towards the center of the lake. And here with my rigger for a few fine details. So now we need to let this totally dry. So as these three are desperate for a walk, time for a quick break. Now, with the same mix of blue, I'm using the dry brush technique. Hold the brush flat and drag it across the top of the paper. You need to use rough or cold pressed paper to achieve this. Please see my video on paper types, link above. I'm now painting in with conventional strokes, just a few darker details. Now with the green mix, we're just painting in the tree lines along the bottom of the mountains. Now with a small piece of slightly damp tissue, I'm just going to soften in some of these edges and details on the mountains here. With a piece of kitchen roll, I'm just masking out the sky and splatting in some blue texture. And you could also mask out the lake if you're worried about getting some splats down there. Now a nice yellowy green for these mid-ground trees. It's about 70% cadmium yellow and 30% cobalt blue. Now a darker green by adding in a lot more cobalt blue. And here a few drops of watery cadmium orange. End of brush technique here to pull out a little of the details. Please see my video on painting trees, link above. All of this I'm painting in wet and wet, letting all the colours blend. With my rigger here, I'm just painting in a few of the fiddly tree details. For the canopy of leaves on this foreground tree, I'm painting in exactly the same way. Now, as cadmium yellow is a slightly opaque colour, it does sit nicely on top of the blue sky. And all of this I'm painting with my number 12 round brush. Here, a little spray of water just to keep the colours moving a bit. In this darker tone of green, I'm painting in the shadows across the bank, making sure I leave a gap where the path is. And now with a watery burnt umber mix, I paint in the shadow across the path. Now I always think this looks more natural than running a grey shadow across all the colours. For some path detail, I splat in some directional texture in the foreground only with a little burnt umber. Now the tree above is dry, I'm painting in some very dark shadows with some Payne's Grey. And then splatting in some texture for a little more detail. End of brush again and my rigger for a little more leaf detail. Now for the branches. I'm using my number 12 round and painting in the main limbs in a 50-50 mix of burnt umber and cobalt blue. Now with my rigger, the finer branches and trunks. Next it's the main trunk, and I'm using a very diluted wash of yellow ochre, and then dropping in on the left side some burnt umber. And while I've got the colour on my brush, I'm darkening the path shadow, flicking in some stony texture and adding some more details. So where I've got the warm colour in the overhanging tree, I want to reflect that into the water below. So I'm re-wetting the lake in that area directly below, then dropping in a similar colour. And now it's time for the magic scalpel to scratch out some glistening water on the lake. Now the trunk is dry, back with my rigger for a few more details in the tree and the foreground grass. Now with a beige coloured pastel pencil I'm drawing in the light coloured trunks. Now I could have used masking fluid to conserve the paper, but this is so much easier and you can get a much more natural looking line. A rigger again for a few shadows cast on the trunks. And here I'm simply softening some of the pastel lines with my finger. So in this area here, I'm going to be putting in some lighter values than the background. So again, I could have used masking fluid, but why not take a much easier option and again apply some soft pastels directly on top. Now I know the purists would be horrified and they would send the watercolour police after me, but using other media such as pastels can work a treat, while still keeping the painting in essence still looking like a watercolour. Now I'm using both terracotta and green shades into the tree, and again you can soften the edges with your finger. And now for the final stage, a little softening and blending with a slightly damp tissue. All we have left to do is to sign it. There we go. I think we're done. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did and that you'll give it a go. Don't forget to leave down in the comments any suggestions of things you'd like to paint. So I'm going to leave you now with the master mountain painter himself. So bye for now. From all of us here, I'd just like to wish you happy painting and God bless you, my friend.